Okay, so one day my friend Carla and I were leaving a bookstore. I was feeling pretty good looking at Odyssey while she was driving. We were sitting at a stop sign, waiting to turn onto the main road, when we heard a loud. There, sideways in the street, were the crumpled remains of an SUV, with pillows sticking out of it. Only they weren't pillows, they were airbags. And there was another smashed up metal box next to it, also at a weird angle. Being the good Samaritans that we were, we pulled off in the parking lot where the barely running SUV managed to park. The lady in the crunched up SUV turns off her vehicle and steps out. She's just kind of staring into oblivion as more witnesses pull into the parking lot. It seems the SUV driver caused the wreck by crossing the street when the lady in the car was driving through and the SUV got T-boned. The driver of the small car can't even get her vehicle into the lot. She manages to get it to the side of the road and then it's dead. She comes out of her car heated, but there's this other witness who's taken it upon himself to calm everyone down like he's some kind of Keanu Reeves. But I'm watching him closely because something in my gut does not trust this guy. Then I look over at Carla, who, for some reason, really doesn't like him. She hasn't mentioned having grudges against any guys, but that proverb, if looks could kill, well, I think that saying was created specifically for this moment. Now, the lady with the SUV is stumbling around like a dazed Jose Canseco who's just taken another baseball to the head. We're trying to get her back to her vehicle while waiting for 911 to arrive, and she mutters something about how she'll be okay because her husband is a doctor. A doctor? Yeah, he's at work right now. A witness races for the lady's phone and finds the contact titled "Husband Work" and calls it. At this point, I return to hanging out with Carla, who's glaring at this guy like he's Hitler's offspring, and I'm just making sure that nothing else happens that will require more 911 calls when an ambulance arrives for the SUV driver about 20 feet away from us. I thought it was weird that the medics weren't strapping her to the gurney until I walked back over and they told us that her physician husband would be the one to inspect her. A couple of female witnesses tell me, "Her husband's a surgeon and he left surgery to come get his wife. Isn't that so sweet?" Tears welled up in their eyes as my jaw slowly fell open. He left surgery? They nod and wipe their eyes like they're watching a wedding or something. Like he walked out of surgery. And they nod again, still weeping with joy. So he cut someone open and just left them there? Suddenly, they realize that it's not really romance, it's horror. I mean, can you imagine working through all the emotions of upcoming surgery, and you do all that stupid prep stuff like fasting and showering with that special disinfectant soap, and you can't shave, so you grow out so much body hair you make Chewbacca jealous, and when you wake up from anesthesia, you find out the doctor bailed on you and you have to go through it all over again? At this point, Carla and I decide to leave. All the witnesses are type A personalities, and they're getting annoyed with us. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Carla is staring at this guy like he's the reincarnation of Attila the Hun, or maybe it's because I just burst the romantic delusion these ladies were writing in their heads. Before we leave, Carla asks Attila Hun Jr. one question. "Do you do hair for a living?" And when he said yes, she stormed to her car and slammed the door. So the plot thickens. As we're leaving the lot, I'm wondering if at some point this guy had accidentally dyed her hair acid green, maybe he gave her mother some horrific bangs, maybe he gave the cat a mohawk. Finally, 5 minutes into a quiet drive, Carla bursts out. "My sister hired that guy to take care of everyone's hair on her wedding day. She paid him in advance and he never showed up, never answered his phone or anything." Now, back then, police actually showed up for car accidents, and I was thinking about how hilarious it would have been to watch her confront him over a breach in contract in front of the officers. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to do much, but it would definitely make that guy nervous. So the moral of the story is to pay attention at stop signs so that surgeons don't have to abandon people with gaping holes in their bodies, and dishonest hairdressers don't have to deal with burned customers.